Cristiano Ronaldo, Thierry Henry, and Mohamed Salah. Ordering these three seems as tough to me as ordering Pelé, Jermaine Defoe, and the rotting carcass of a deceased badger in terms of their contributions to the beautiful game, so it will come as no surprise to you that my verdict, like all sane people's, is to start Ronaldo, bench Henry, and sell Salah. I should point out that I do not mean any disrespect towards Mohamed Salah in particular, who is one of the best players in the Premier League right now, and has been incredible for Liverpool ever since he joined the club. I've seen lots of derision of Salah being included in a discussion alongside Ronaldo and Henry, probably rightly so, but one could make a case for the gap between Ronaldo and Henry being just as emphatic as the one between Henry and Salah. As much as I loved watching Henry play and feel as though he is probably the finest player of the Premier League era, Ronaldo is on a different planet, so all round, this one was very easy. David De Gea, Jan Oblak, and Marc-Andre ter Stegen. Moving on to a suggestion from one of our subscribers, Pat put forward the proposition of three of the game's greatest goalkeepers right now. A few years ago, if I had to pick between these three, I would have been starting David De Gea, but in the here and now, he is the man I would have to sell. De Gea is obviously still a fine goalkeeper, but he is no longer the remarkable and oftentimes unbeatable presence between the sticks that he was for a few years prior to a poor 2018 World Cup. Up against two of the best goalkeepers on the planet, it's fine margins, and for that reason, the Spaniard has to go. I think most people would put Oblak ahead of ter Stegen, and ultimately, that's what I'm going to do, but it's an incredibly tight call. Ter Stegen has been second only to Messi in terms of Barcelona's most important players over the last couple of years, and he's among the most complete goalkeepers around. I still think Oblak is a touch more proficient when it comes to the fundamentals of guarding one's goal though, and he's also been the most consistent of the trio over the last 5 or 6 years. For me, Oblak starts, ter Stegen's benched, and De Gea's left sat on the team bus outside the ground. Kai Havertz, Martin Odegaard, and Mason Mount. Right, I just wrote down everyone's suggestions and then picked a few I liked, so I apologise for the fact that there were 87 responses on Twitter and I've picked 2 from the same person, but clearly I found Pat's suggestions particularly intriguing. Unlike some of the others, Kai Havertz, Martin Odegaard and Mason Mount are all fairly comparable, but for me, there is one clear winner. Between the three, I'm starting Kai Havertz every day of the week and against any opposition. At the age of 20, Havertz is already capable of running a game at the highest level. He's intelligent, industrious, and fantastic on the ball. The more I see of him, the more I'm convinced that Germany should build their team around him over the next 10 years, and that he won't be at Bayer Leverkusen for much longer. I think Havertz is quite possibly the most talented and well-equipped young midfielder in world football right now, so it's just a question of who's benched and who is sold between Odegaard and Mount. The case for Mount would of course be that he has got regular game time for his parent club this season, with the flip side of that argument of course being that Chelsea aren't quite Real Madrid and Los Blancos didn't spend last summer with a transfer embargo hanging over their heads. I think Mount is a talent with a brilliant knack for scoring goals, and he couldn't wish for a better mentor coaching him than Frank Lampard, but I think Odegaard is the more talented player. Following a really excellent season at Heerenveen, Odegaard has continued to impress at Real Sociedad, and I don't think a Real Madrid breakthrough is too far off. So I'd be starting Havertz, benching Odegaard, and selling Mount.